Hey, Adam here. Welcome back to RanmaVR. This is update number 3. It's been almost a year exactly since my last update, which was not my intention, but shortly after the last video, my son was born, my first kid. And so he has been my focus for this last most of a year. But last 2 months or so, I've been able to start working on RanmaVR once again. And so I got a pretty substantial update today. You'll find the link down in the description if you want to give it a download yourself, want to give it a try. It once again works in VR. It works on desktop with mouse and keyboard. Whatever you have set up, go ahead and give it a try. But yeah, so my son was born. You can see in this picture here, he's quite the cute little kid. I'm going to be the proud papa for a moment, show him off. I want to say a big thank you to my friend Trisha, who actually both crocheted the hat for him that he's wearing in this picture, as well as she is actually a even bigger Ranma fan than I am. And so over the course of the last couple of years, she's been helping me out a lot on this project, just giving me information about different props and accessories that would be in the different rooms and layouts, and just consulting, and she's just been a huge help. So thank you very much to my friend Trisha. So let's jump right in, and I'll show you the new stuff that I got going on. One of the first big things you'll notice is that there's now surrounding buildings. There's been, in the last couple of builds, there's been buildings that went all the way around, but they were all it was the same 4 buildings just repeated over and over again. It was very generic. There was nothing, and they were not great for performance. Whereas now there's different kinds of buildings and all different looks and stuff like that, and they're all actual, like, regular houses, which is pretty neat. And now you can actually jump up onto here and stand on the walkways, and you can see the houses and the power lines and things like that. And you can go down and walk around on the street and stuff now too, which is pretty fun, pretty cool thing. So that's nice, fully explorable. There's still a lot that I want to do. The buildings right now are still pretty much just dropped in there without a whole lot of care or consideration, mostly just because I wanted to get this build out to be experienced before the year was up. But there's eventually going to be a lot more little details and things added into the different houses and different elements around while you're walking around. So it's pretty neat. It looks really neat at nighttime too. A lot of the buildings are lit up, including the buildings way off in the distance, because there are various skyscrapers around, because this does take place sort of in a fairly busy part of Tokyo. But it's not just the outside buildings that have been updated for this build. I have finally finished the full upstairs. So I'll go hopping up this way. A lot of little improvements throughout the entire house, the grounds, the property. I don't know many of them, how many you'll see, but like the floor is a lot more accurate now up here for lighting and reflections and things like that. There's just generally better lighting and reflections across the entire property. And I will continue to iterate on that and improve that and things like that. But let's see. Let's start with Kasumi's room. So there's not a whole lot of reference that you get over the course of the anime about Kasumi's room. Pretty much there's one shot that you see that just kind of looks just like this, where you see there's a calendar, there's a sort of a metal chicken, a lamp, and a clock, and that's all you get. So I've sort of expanded on that and added some things. Like, I figure Kasumi's really into family, so I have this cool portrait here of the family, leaned up against the flower pot, and and then another one here of the current family as it exists that I absolutely love. This is one of my all-time favorite images, so I wanted to definitely include that in here. And then just this beautiful kimono fabric. So yeah, so give Kasumi's room a look. It's pretty nice, pretty relaxing space. And there's a lot to see in here, but not nearly as much as there is to see in Nabiki's room. So Nabiki's room we actually do spend a fair amount of time in within the show. So I've tried to include as many little details in here from the show as I could, from things like her red and white trash can, pictures on the walls, paintings. Always has a pillow on the ground and the neat little carpet there. I figured she'd probably have some cookies and milk. And then that very aggressively 80s pillow that's sitting on the bed there. And a few other little things, bag of chips on the floor, and got a portrait here of her most important things in her life. As I mentioned in the last video, she actually does have a treasure chest in her room, so that was a pretty fun little discovery. And then on her desk, I added in a bunch of the pictures that she's been taking of Ranma and Akane over the course of the first part of the show. Some that were definitely like directly from that, like are shown as ones that she's actually sold to Kuno, as well as a few others that I just thought would be funny or cute ones to include. So you can take a look at those, as well as her filing system here. If for those of you who actually can read a little bit of Japanese, I thought this would be sort of a silly, fun little Easter egg. So those rooms are done and ready to explore, and give them a look. In addition, if I head out here, one of the things that is pretty neat is that the nighttime mode has a few changes made to it. Since there's buildings all around, they can all be lit up now. Just hop up here on the roof so it's a little easier to see. But fireworks will now go off on their own. You don't have to actually like hit any buttons. They'll just pop up in the sky and go. And you can see they're actually pretty accurately lighting up the environment, the different houses and things like that. And one of the things that I'm actually really proud of is that in this build there is proper bounce lighting from the fireworks now. So you can see some fun stuff. Also, you never see it at all in the anime, but there's definitely a bathroom on the second floor. Like, I don't think it's ever shown in the anime, the manga, or anything like that. But in the episode that has that's the introduction to Kodachi, when Ranma is up on the roof and paralyzed, there's a moment where Genma gets up and he walks down the hallway, and you just see it from the other side of the building, but he walks down the hallway, and then you hear a toilet flush and some hand washing, and then he walks back down the hallway and goes back into his room. And so it makes sense that there would be a bathroom right here. So I have included one, even though it's not in the show at all. So let me pop into the house real quick. I'll be able to show you what I'm talking about with the, like if we come in here to Nabiki's room, you can see it's pretty dark, but when a firework goes off, the whole room lights up a little bit with the color of the firework. So it's a subtle effect, but it actually looks a lot better now that it's actually there. And it's neat seeing all the streets and everything light up a little bit, as well as all the houses. So night mode is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about the sort of improvement that it's had. So let's switch back over to daytime now. We might get one or two more fireworks during the daytime, but that's all right. It should stop after a moment. And I'll show you the other neat addition here. Oops, got a little turned around. So now the gates are open. You can walk outside and see that there's houses. And I tried to really be authentic to the feel of walking around in the little side streets in Tokyo. And I definitely want to do more improvements and more all kinds of little details and things that I want to add to the environment. I think it would be really fun to have even references to other stuff. Like one of the things I was thinking would be neat would be to have, like, parked in front of somebody's house would be the Kaneda's motorcycle from Akira, or like the Vespa from FLCL, that kind of thing. Just lots of fun little details that can be tucked in and around the environment that will be fun little Easter eggs. So the front of the dojo, we have the actual like sign placard here, which looks pretty cool. It's all painted with the full Tendo Dojo. And then they have a little whiteboard here with all of this information. There's a few navigation bugs that are present in this build. I will have those sorted out before the next one is ready to go, but just know that this is my priority on this one was getting it out, and there's always 1,000 things that I gotta fix, so those will get better over time. So if you walk this direction away from the dojo, you can see I'm starting to work on a little bit different environment here, different feel for the street going by. But be aware that everything this direction is like even more of a work in progress than what is currently there. I just figured I'd toss it in here and for you guys to experience. So we have Uchan's Okonomiyaki restaurant, and have some of the plastic food set out front there. And I put this under construction sign here just to be very clear that this is not production ready. This is just, I mean, you can see like the door errors and things like that. But I figured I would put it in here just to be available for people to start exploring and have fun with. I know a lot of people are really excited about seeing some of the environments that are outside of the main family home. So here we have her lucky cat. I put quite a bit of effort into getting the light to look just right and wrap around just right here, so I'm very happy with how that came out. And then I have her giant battle spatula that I absolutely love from the show. It's one of my favorite weapons from any anime. So figured I'd include that as a necessity. And then turn around real quick here. One of the fun things is the actual like okonomiyaki that Ukyo makes for Ranma that ends up becoming a challenge. Because that's one of my favorite episodes. So if you continue up these stairs, and like again, navigation is pretty broken here, so just be aware of that when you're exploring this area. It works pretty good on desktop mode with mouse and keyboard, but with the VR controls, it's still a little funky. But trying to do a staircase this steep in VR is a little bit of a little unhappy with it. So obviously, there needs to be a lot more detail added to this space, but this is the beginning bare bones of Ukyo's room. And then I figured she probably would have a bath of some kind in the apartment, so there's sort of a neat bath environment here that you can see. You can step into it as well, which can sometimes reset your navigation. So that's a a bug that I'm trying to fix right now. I'm not sure why that happens, but once in a while, if there's an error in the navigation, it will teleport you back to World 0, which is right down in here. So if you're ever moving around and you teleport back there, that's what's going on. So just be aware of that, and it's something that I will hopefully have fixed in the next build. So we'll see how that goes. So upcoming, I do have a lot of exciting new things that I'm planning on working on and getting going. Out past Ukyo's, I plan on having that road turn, and it will actually be the canal with the green fence that they're always running along on their way to school. I'm going to put the cat cafe and the Dr. Tofu's clinic over there. So that'll be a fun little environment to explore. Pretty substantial environments, actually. And then, so that I'm planning on that being in the next build, the canal, the cat cafe, and Dr. Tofu's. And then I would like to just continue building on top of that. And then, of course, all of the other countless little things that are going to end up going to improve the project as a whole. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And thanks for everybody that's been sharing the videos and stuff. I like the other two videos have thousands of views, which I did not anticipate. That's pretty wild. So thank you to everyone who has liked and shared and all that kind of stuff. And I will hopefully be updating a lot more often, just now that I'm able to work on a more regular schedule again. No new children planned anytime in the immediate future, so that should be pretty easy going. And like I said, link for the download is here in the description. Anytime that you want to switch over to desktop mode, just hit enter on the keyboard and it will switch over to mouse and keyboard. And you'll be ready to just run around like a regular first-person shooter, just WASD, spacebar to jump, that kind of stuff. Control to crouch. So yeah, thanks again. Download this in the description. Link to the Patreon's in the description. And thank you very much.